Mashiane, politically incorrect. We are at the Tshwane house. We are here to understand what is happening. The city has been hung. The city has been negotiating a new mayor for the past 2 weeks. I've got a gentleman here from Action SA. He will tell us who he is and what does he do in Action SA and how is he assisting the process that is happening today in Tshwane House. How are you, sir?
I'm good, and yourself? It's a good day for the residents of Tshwane and for people who anticipate that change can come from these events.
Kindly tell the people of Tshwane, who are you, what do you do in the politics of Action SA?
My name is Michael Beaumont. I'm the National Chairperson of Action SA. I've been part of Action SA's negotiating team that's formed the agreement that we're going to see play out in Council today.
And how did you fare coming to this final stretch of installing the new mayor? What's your confidence and what made you convince the ANC that Dr. Moya is the best candidate?
Well, I think there's been a lot of engagements, and we've been very clear about not going into those engagements to be arrogant. We see too much arrogance in coalition, and it causes the instability that brings service delivery to a stop. But ultimately, I think it's Dr. Moya herself who convinced the ANC. She's a very credible candidate. She's got a track record as the deputy mayor. She served the city in a number of capacities. She's highly qualified, and she's going to do a great job. And I think it's a great credit to the ANC that argument won the order of the day, where too often these decisions are based on the wrong kind of reasoning.
Hemen Mashaba said he will go with anyone presented by political parties who would prove to be a better candidate than Dr. Moya. Who did the ANC field, and did other political parties like EFF field a candidate of their own?
I'm not going to get into the details of those kind of parts of the negotiations, if you don't mind. We've engaged with political parties in good faith, and I don't think they would appreciate me revealing those kind of details here. I think what is important, though, is that Dr. Moya has risen as the universally supported and most credible candidate turn around the city, and the one that all political parties are placing their faith in to do the job. I think that's quite something in this fractious local government environment, and it says something about what she brings to the table.
The deputy mayorship position becomes vacant. The ANC and EFF had at some point disagreed with that position being in existence. Is it going to be done away with, or someone is going to be occupying it, and were they part of the negotiations that particular matter?
Well, I think the position's going to remain, and as I understand, political parties are very keen on that particular position, which I suppose demonstrates the short-term nature of politics. You shouldn't oppose something now when it's actually the right thing. And let's agree, it is good to have a deputy mayor. In the world of coalitions, we need to deepen power sharing, and this is one of the reasons why the previous government collapsed, because the DA seemed to believe that the job of their coalition partners is to let them govern unconditionally, when what we actually need is co-governance. We need a situation where political parties take hands and serve their diverse communities in the most effective manner possible.
MMC positions, is it too early to speak about? Is it going to take 2 days, 3 days to call a press conference to tell us the executive?
There's going to be discussions happening this afternoon after the council meeting, and it is the commitment of all political parties that mayoral committee should be announced within the next 24 hours. We need to be speedy and we need to be decisive. We cannot have a city that is as dysfunctional as the city of Tshwane and not provide the leadership to these departments that is needed for service delivery.
Allow me to take you outside Tshwane. In Parliament, the EFF has launched an assault at Johnston Hazen for breaking the code of ethics, for employing people who are not supposed to be employed because they did not meet the threshold and the requirements for the offices and the position that they have been appointed to. Is there any word that Action SA would want to give pertaining to that?
Well, for what it's worth, I believe the EFF's complaint is that there was a deception of Parliament by the Minister in that regard, and we are very concerned by what we see to be the constant double standards of these political parties in the GNU. There was a time when political parties used to rally against the appointment of unqualified people, and now those same parties in government are the ones applying for that. These people used to rally against Phala Phala, and now here they are promoting Phala Phala and making it part of a coalition agreement to defend that issue. These people used to say that large cabinets were wasteful in terms of public expenses, and yet here they serve in the largest cabinets in South Africa's history. We are worried that what we see in this GNU of the opposition and a weakening of the opposition voice in South Africa, and Action SA sees the role we need to play to take up that fight, like we are, for example, right now, with the Minister of Justice implicated in the VBS scandal while she's presiding over the very NPA that's meant to prosecute this case. This is why we need a strong opposition to a very strong GNU.
Mr. Bowman, the last question is, do you think what is happening to Steenhuisen now in Parliament is a show that cadre deployment does exist even in the Democratic Alliance?
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, I think political officers are different from the question of the administration. But certainly, I think there's only difference between the DA and the ANC is that DA hasn't had the same opportunity. If you look no further than here in the city of Tshwane, the very reason why we are here today electing a new mayor is because the DA has gone about governing the city in a way which, quite frankly, is no better than the ANC's track record in the city. And that's why we see the option of a third way being demonstrated to not just the residents of Tshwane, but Gauteng and more broadly, to be a very important option for people to see this doesn't have to be a binary choice. There can be a third option.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Because government doesn't operate in the air. The issues that are impacting communities take place on the ground, where communities live and where people are frustrated and where people have been ignored for the last few years. And we need to make sure that Action SA structures play an active role in bringing those issues to our mayor and to our MMCs so that we can resolve those problems for our residents and we can demonstrate value very, very quickly. The people in this municipality have been very frustrated for a long period of time, and they need to see change. And South Africans are impatient. We can't make them wait long for change. We need to work with them to ensure they see it starting from tomorrow. And that's going to be a partnership, because politics is a team sport. It's not an individual sport. The mayor will not be able to succeed unless we put a strong team of people around her and we work closely with our structures. But from my side, I think the one thing that must be left to be said is let's make sure we are a humble political party. We come from an arrogant coalition. We come from a coalition that treated parties as being there just to put them in power, when actually we must understand that every party, big or small, has an important role to play. And we must respect that role, and we must ensure that the voices of all political parties find expression in our government and in the services we deliver. But I think while we wait for Herman, I don't know where Herman is. He's taking an interview, so we'll pass back to the PC or RC in a moment. Let me just say this. Thank you to the Structures for Gauteng for talking. You were the one who brought this to our table. You were the one who told us about how bad the situation was with service delivery on the ground in Tshwane. You were the one who led us down this particular path. And I think it's very important that the national leadership listen to what you have to say. And it's an important moment for our political party because we're a young political party. We're still going to our first conference. We're still maturing. But a successful political party is one where the structures have a voice and have the space where they can speak, and the leadership have an ear so that they can listen. So from my side, thank you very much to all of you, to Jackie and Funzi and Evelyn and the team that facilitated that conversation, because ultimately we have a very good outcome for the residents of Tshwane here today. Thank you very much.
Because we actually were complaining about service delivery. I mean, you've heard about the service delivery being directed to a certain group. That's not Action SA style. We are going to be an inclusive service providing a unit, and we are going to support our mayor. And we call upon all structures everywhere. Colleagues, wherever you hear anything that needs attention, please raise it with the local structures, the executive in there, so that we can be able to know exactly where the problems are. Because it's not in many cases where we actually are able to know what is happening where in all corners. So let's spread ourselves. Let's make sure that we bring this party, and as we look towards 2024, we know exactly what we want to do. We know exactly what we want to achieve. But Oksala, all I can tell you is that you guys are responsible for where we are today. And you need to give yourself a round of applause because you've made a massive contribution. And I'm happy that our leadership has allowed us to say we are free at last. And I think the freedom, we should never take advantage of this freedom. It is a freedom that we wanted, but it's a freedom that comes with a responsibility. We have got to make sure that we take that up and we ensure that our people, and we're talking about all residents of Tshwane, every resident of Tshwane must benefit from what we have achieved today. This for us is historic. I mean, they can call us names. We will forgive them. We leave them and we move on. All we want to do is let's serve the people. Let's ignore what they are doing, what they are saying about us. It's fine. It's sour grapes. So all I'm saying is that we are going to commit. We will have an REC meeting on Saturday with councillors where we are going to shape the way forward. There's no time. We need to start running now. So we will engage and we will make sure that everybody understands where we're going and how we want to get there. But to all of you colleagues, thank you very, very much. I hear Mefa is talking about increase. That's, you remember that's been approved. For the current year, you will get your increase. No, we are going to work on, don't worry. We are not going to play games. The one thing is that, colleagues, we are going to give our workers respect. The dignity of our workers must be restored. For a very long time, last week I had a lady this side from the other office of somebody that was just kicked off last week, telling me that she has been actually moved because they wanted to replace her with someone. She's been moved to some place that she doesn't even know. So we are going to treat everybody with respect and equally so. And we expect every one of us to respect the workers because it's important for us to respect them so that they can also assist us with delivering services. The challenge is that we also must make sure that colleagues, and I'm talking to the workers that are here now, we want to make sure that those seats on the 26th of every month are occupied at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Gone are the days where at 10 o'clock on the 26th there's nobody in the offices. We need to service our people, and it starts there. It starts with us.
So we've got this new manual membership book, which we are going to ask Jackie. We are running a pilot of this for this week, so we want to see how it works. So we are going to ask Jackie to run with it in Tshwane. This is the Tshwane book. I'm going to hand over to him, and then from next week we're going to get a book for each and every ward, so that they can be able to start running with the manual process as well. We've got an online system, but we thought it's important that we must also introduce a manual system where our people who do not have access to phones and those things can be able to register easily with us. So we are encouraging you, all of you who are not yet members of Action SA who are here. Maybe you were a member before, but this is the new system, new dispensation. Please register to become a member of Action SA. You get your membership card immediately. That will be sent to you on your email, and then you are a member already. If you are a member, you've got then the right to be able to contribute like the structure of Tshwane contributed. As Michael was saying, as a structures, we managed to convince our leadership that no, that time of saying we can't work with ANC, we can't work with this one, we are asking leadership to abandon that, and the leadership listen to the structures. So if you want to contribute to Action SA progress going forward, we are asking you to be a member of Action SA. Michael, you want to say something about our membership?
There's 50 in each book, because 50 is a branch. So each one of these is one branch in one ward. And we must know that our weakness in 2024 was we didn't have real branches. We had paper branches. And the work from here must go to ensure we've got strong branches. So I want to encourage you, go out there, build your branches, but more importantly, use the fact that we are in government in Tshwane now to build strong branches, because we can take issues from those communities and we can fix them for those communities. Create that connection between Action SA membership and our communities. But maybe it would be appropriate from the national chair to the provincial chair to the regional chair.
Amanda to the structure.
Jackie, hold it up for me, please.